Hello all. Shivananda Sarma Memorial RV College has taken up this initiative of getting video lectures recorded and posted in the YouTube channels. In this connection, I, Professor Divya N of Department of Business Administration, is posting a video relating to the subject cost accounting, which is calculation of wages or total earnings. In any given factory, wages payment towards the labor is very important. So in further slides, we are going to learn what are the different methods a firm can calculate, or a factory can calculate, or a business person can calculate how much amount of wages or what is the amount of payments he's supposed to make towards his workers or laborers. So in previous slides or previous sessions, we have learned what is the meaning of labor costing, then what are the different classifications, what is labor turnover and relating concepts to that. Then we learned about timekeeping, time booking. Then we also spoke about labor turnover, ideal time as well. So today, the last part of this particular chapter is wage systems, or the different systems or different methods to calculate the remuneration or the wages that is supposed to be paid by the organization or firm towards its employees. So basically, there are three methods or three classifications under which the entire payment systems can be classified or learned. So first one is time rate system, second one is piece rate system, third one is incentive schemes or bonus systems. So first one is time rate system. What happens under this particular system is the organizers or the employers will make the payment of wages to laborers based on the amount of time each laborer is being inside the factory or being inside the organization. So if a particular person enters the office at 8 a.m. in the morning and leaves at 4 p.m. in the evening, so the employer assumes that with all the breaks, everything, the worker or the employee is all the employees are working for the entire 8 hours and giving their 100% productivity or 100% using their 100% capabilities to perform. So if the person or the employer is calculating the wages based on the number of hours worked by each employee, then is set to follow time rate system. So under time rate system, workers are paid according to the time for which they work. Payment may be on hourly basis, daily basis, or monthly basis. In this system, no consideration is given to the quantity or quality of work done. So he's just going to assume that for every person, for how many hours he's going to work or she's going to work, I will make the payments. I am not going to consider what kind of work he's going to do in the factory, how many hours of break he's going to take, or how many what quality of products is he producing, or what quantity of products is he producing in the working hours. I'm not going to consider that. I'm just going to consider how many hours of work is the employee doing, or how many hours the employee is staying inside the factory. So the simple formula for calculation of wages under this time rate system is number of hours worked multiplied by rate per hour. So who will set the rate per hour? The organizers or employers will set the rate per hour on their own. So what will be the criteria they will see? They will see the previous experiences, or they will decide upon what amount can be paid for every hour the person is going to work, or they will look into the competitor firms where they follow similar kind of work or the jobs that is done, and they will set the rate per hour. So to calculate wages under time rate system, one need to calculate the number of hours worked by each employee and multiply that with rate per hour. So if an employee is working 8 hours a day and he's paid 100 rupees per hour, then its total wages or its total earnings of the employee I'm talking about, or the worker or the laborer, will be 800 rupees. 8 hours into 100 rupees per hour, 800 rupees. Next, the next method talks about piece rate system. In previous method, we considered the amount of time the employee spent in the organization. Here, we are going to consider the number of units produced by worker or laborer in the organization to calculate his payment or calculate his wages. So wages under this system are paid according to the quantity of work done. So previous, it was neither the quality nor the quantity. It was just the time or the amount of time that was considered. Here, the quantity of work done, probably in terms of n number of units produced by a particular laborer. So a rate is fixed per unit of production and wages are calculated by the following formula. So what is wages according to the piece rate system? It will be rate per unit into number of units produced by a employee. So if we take the example of a pen manufacturer, if a particular employee is supposed to produce 100 pens a day, for one production of one pen, the manufacturer is paying 2 rupees for that employee, and the employee produces 100 pens. At the end of the day, how much wages is he going to get? If it is a daily wage system, he's going to get 2 rupees into 100 pens that he has produced, 200 rupees. The total wages under piece rate system is calculated based on the number of units produced by the particular employee or the laborer multiplied with rate per unit produced. Okay. Next, this is nothing but very much similar to the previous two methods what we have learned from, but in few textbooks the different authors will mention the piece rate system as straight piece rate system and time rate system as flat time rate system. So if you see this kind of terminologies in your question paper, do not freak out. It's nothing but the same formula, same meaning, same definition, and just you will have to be very intellectual while looking into the question, because they will sometimes they just give the information that is required to calculate the wages. They will not mention which method you're supposed to use. So based on the information that is available, you will look into which formula to be used or which method or system to be followed in calculation of wages. So straight piece rate method is nothing but employee is rewarded his wage based on the number of units he is going to produce. So there will be a predetermined rate at which every unit produced will be paid. So number of units produced will be multiplied with that particular rate, which can also be called as wage rate or rate per unit of production. The terminologies are same. Just make sure or just use your logics, and if it is straight piece rate method or piece rate system, it is rate per piece multiplied by number of units. If it's time rate method or time rate system, it will be number of hours worked number of hours worked multiplied by rate per hour. Okay. Up next, we have incentive schemes or bonus systems. So what are these incentive schemes and bonus systems? Sometimes what happens, there will a company will assume, or will take an example. There is a XYZ manufacturing factory. They follow time rate system. So any employee, once he enters the factory, he'll work for 8 hours. At the end of the day, every employee, with no matter how much units they produce, they are paid equally with, say, 800 rupees per day. But there are two employees or few employees who are able to produce 100 units in that 8 hours, and there are rest of the employees who are able to produce only 80 units. So don't you think it is unfair because few people are producing more number of units in the same amount of time that is given, and the rest of them are not producing this same amount of units? So to balance this unfair dealings that the company does, people came up with incentive schemes or bonus systems. So what happens over here is, with the wages that is being paid according to the time rate system or the piece rate system, there will be a added bonus or an incentive that will be given for the workers who is outperforming, who are performing better than the rest of their co-workers. So that is incentive systems or bonus systems. So this particular method comprises both time rate system and piece rate system as well. It combines the good points of both the systems. In this way, both the workers are induced to increase their productivity, and gains raising from the efficiency of the workers are shared between the workers and the employers. So if we consider the same example, the people are working only 8 hours a day. There is difference between the production by each of the employees. So at the end, it's only the owner or the employer who is enjoying the profits out of the production done. In return, the employees are just getting the payment or the wages only for the work, the hours they are spent, not on the production or not on the productivity they are showing in producing n number of units. So to avoid that or to overcome that, incentive schemes or bonus schemes were done. or prepared. So wages under this system is equal to predetermined standard time plus bonus. So what is this predetermined standard time? If the company is following time rate system, then it has to set a particular time. Probably say for 1 unit of, to produce 1 unit, a person should take 45 minutes or 1 hour. So in the 8 hours duration, he need to produce 8 units. If there is an employee who is going to outperform that and produce more than that, say 9 units, then he will have to be paid an extra bonus. So normal wages with the extra bonus will be wages according to incentive schemes or bonus schemes. So there are various schemes or various sub-methods under this incentive schemes. First one is Halsey Premium Bonus Plan or Halsey Plan and Halsey Wire Plan. So this particular bonus plan was introduced by Mr. F.A. Halsey in 1891. It's a simple combination of time and piece rate systems. A worker is paid a guaranteed base rate and is rewarded when his performance exceeds the standard. So over here, a particular base rate is always fixed. The base wages or the basic wages is always fixed. And if a particular employee is performing better than the standard or he is exceeding the standard, if a company has said to produce only 5 units of a particular product for 8 hours of working hours, and they're set with a particular basic wage, and they see an employee is able to produce more than 5 units of products, so they are going to give him or pay him an extra money for the extra hard work or extra unit produced in that, or unit produced that is exceeding the standard that was set. So that is what we are going to learn in this Halsey Premium Bonus Plan. So our standard time is established in respect of each job or unit. So unit in terms of manufacturing, job in terms of service industry. Bonus is paid on the basis of 50% of time saved. So what is the amount of time that each employee is saving when he's manufacturing or when he's producing standard units or using standard time? So basically, time saved refers to the difference between standard time set by the company and the time taken by every employee. So if there is any difference or if there is any time saved by the employee, then 50% of whatever time the employee has saved, he will be rewarded for that. So if I say for production of 1 unit, the company has set 1 hour, and a particular employee is able to produce that 1 unit in 40 minutes. So he's able to save 20 minutes of time. So if 1 hour the company is paying him 100 rupees, he will be paid an extra bonus for that 20 minutes that is being saved. That is 100 rupees for 1 hour will be we'll take it as 60 rupees per hour. That is easy for calculation. So 60 rupees per hour, then he will be saving, he will be able to gain 20 rupees for the time saved, that is 20 minutes of time saved. In that, he is going to be paid a 50% of bonus, that is 10 rupees plus 60 rupees of normal wages. So according to Halsey Premium Bonus Plan, the employee who is able to save time, he's going to get he's going to get a bonus paid on the basis of 50% of the time saved from him. So I just repeat the same example. Hope you find it better now. So if an employee is given 60 rupees for producing 1 unit of product within 1 hour, and the employee is able to produce that within 40 minutes itself. So his time saved is standard time minus time taken, that is 60 minutes minus 40 minutes is equal to 20 minutes. So for the 20 minutes, yes, Naima. Okay. So for the 20 minutes, whatever the time is being saved by the employee, 20 minutes, he's going to get 50% as a bonus. So for the 20 rupees wages, the 20 minutes wages will be 20 rupees. Out of that, he's going to get only 50% as bonus. So 60 rupees for the 1 hour standard wages plus bonus of 10 rupees. He's going to get 70 rupees in hand as total wages. So just remember the formula. Halsey Premium Bonus Plan or Halsey Plan is equal to, or the total wages under Halsey Plan, and sometimes in the question, instead of the word wages, they'll be asking you to calculate total earnings of a particular employee or laborer. So total wages or total earnings is nothing but the same. Just don't get confused with your financial management. Total earnings over there is earnings of company. In labor costing, we are talking about total earnings of a particular employee or the laborer. So total wages or total earnings according to the ALSE premium bonus plan will be hourly rate into time taken. That is the standard time plus bonus. Bonus over here in this method is 50% into time saved into hourly rate. So you can recall our example. Anyway, in further slides, I have the practically solved problem, so you will be able to understand better. So any plans under bonus systems is nothing but wages plus bonus. Under this system, wages is the normal wages according to the formula hourly rate into time taken, plus the bonus under this method is 50% of the amount that the person earns on saving the time or not utilizing the entire standard time. So formula will be hourly rate into time taken plus 50% of time saved into hourly rate. And there is one more sub concept, that is ALSE wire plan. ALSE wire plan is nothing but in case there is a premium percentage mentioned in the question, instead of 50%, whatever percentage is mentioned in the question, that must be used for calculation of bonuses. There is no percentage mentioned, they have mentioned only the ALSE wire plan, then instead of 50% of bonus, you will take it 30%. That's the only difference. ASLE premium bonus plan or ALSE plan, you will consider 50%. If it's ALSE wire plan, it will be you will be taking 30% as the percentage for calculation of bonus on time saved. We'll go with the next method. Up next, we have Rowan premium bonus plan. In previous method, we saw that 50% of bonus was given on the time saved. Here, under the Rowan premium bonus plan, the bonus is paid on the basis of time saved, computed as a portion of time taken with the time saved, which the time saved bears to the standard time. So over here, they're just taking the proportion of time saved with the standard time. So what is the proportion of time saved by an employee compared to the standard time set by the company? The formula is same, just instead of 50% of time saved, you will take time saved divided by standard time. Okay. So hourly rate into time taken plus time saved divided by standard time multiplied by time taken into hourly rate. So hope this is fine. We'll go with the problems in the later classes, later slides. Up next, we have something called as differential piece rate. So under this method, what happens, instead of calculating piece rate for every extra unit that is produced by an employee, they will set two piece rates, lower piece rate and higher piece rate. So what happens over here is, for example, a company has set the standard number of units to be produced by every employee is 100 units per day. They see that few employees are able to produce 120 units per day. And the opposite of that, there are employees who are able to produce only 80 units per day. So I need to appreciate in terms of monetary payment for the people who are producing more than the standard output required. And I need to even make sure that I teach a lesson and motivate people who are not able to touch the standard production in the particular day. So I set two piece rates, one lower piece rate, one higher piece rate. So for people who are able to take less amount of time, people who are able to take less amount of time compared to the standard time, I will use higher piece rate for the bonus payment. And if for the people who are taking more than the standard time to complete a particular work, I will pay them lower piece rate. So here I can use even the time or the pieces. Or it is like if the standard time for producing a particular unit is 1 hour and a person is taking 1 hour 20 minutes, that means he's not able to finish the production in the standard time of 1 hour. So I will use, for paying of bonus, I will use the lower piece rate. Though I'm paying him a bonus that is standard wage plus some extra amount, I'm going to pay him less bonus compared to the rest of the employees who are able to finish the production within the standard time or on the exact given standard time. Okay, so for now, just remember this theory. We are going to learn it practically solving the problems. So the Taylor differential piece rates method was introduced by F.W. Taylor. You people will be remembering him, studying his theories and his predictions or his concepts in your management studies or OB or even HRM. So he was the person who came up with this differential piece rate system. The main features of this particular plan is day wages are not guaranteed. That is, it does not assure any minimum amount of wages to the workers. So the day wages differentiate from one company to another, and sometimes it is dependent on the time, or sometimes it is dependent on the number of units produced. So that is not guaranteed. Then a standard time for each job is very carefully set after time and motion studies. So the employer will set the standard time that is required to complete a particular task or to produce a particular unit after studying carefully the various factors that is necessary to complete that particular job. Then they set price or the piece rates. So if a particular person meets the standard or the particular person is able to complete the task within the given standard time, I will pay him the bonus in the higher piece rate that is set by the company. If the employer is not able to complete or finish the task within the given standard time, I will pay him the lower piece rate. Okay. It will be seen that there is a great difference between the wages of an efficient and an inefficient worker. This system will help us to recognize or identify who is the most efficient worker and who is the most inefficient worker. So this will also help me to see what is the amount of training required by a particular employee, what is the motivation that I'm supposed to give an employee. I'll be able to recognize which are the skills that has been lacking from the employees who are not able to be or who are not able to work with their full efficiency. I'll be able to recognize with this, and the bonus being a money factor which is going to attract all the employees to work better. So under this method, I have the normal wage plus the bonus, but the only difference is for people who are not able to complete the work within the standard time, I'm giving them lesser bonus. For people who are able to work within the standard time or on the standard time, I will be giving them higher piece rate for as their bonus. Okay, next up we have Merrick's differential piece rate system. So here it is a upgraded version of Taylor's differential piece rate system. In Taylor's differential piece rate system, he didn't give us any percentage. Like we had 50% in HALS, I'll say, then we had time saved by standard time proportion in Rowan's premium. In Taylor's piece rate, we didn't have any percentage for lower piece rate and higher piece rate. But in Merrick's differential piece rate system, he has given for people who are able to show their level of efficiency up to 83.33%. That is, they are not able to meet the standard time, but they're able to meet only 83.33% of the standard time or the standard output that is expected by the company. They will be paid normal piece rate. Just remember this table, you will be able to understand with the questions in the further slides. So in Taylor's piece rate or Taylor's differential piece rate, he just said the companies must have one lower piece rate and one higher piece rate. Lower piece rate must be considered for paying bonus for the people who are not able to complete the task within the standard time fixed. Higher piece rate for the people who are able to finish this or complete the task that is given to them before or within the standard time that is sent. So Merrick's differential time piece rate, he is giving out the numbers right away. He isn't setting any slabs or he isn't setting any qualitative information as such higher or lower. Here he's setting up the slabs where if the employee is able to show his level of efficiency up to 83.33%, then whatever the normal piece rate, that is wages per unit of production is set by the company, that must be paid as bonus. Then if the employee's level of efficiency is between 83.33% to 100%, then he must be paid 1.1 into the normal piece rate. that is 101% of his normal piece rate. Normal wages or the standard wages plus this 1.1 into normal piece rate. The same way, if the employee is outperforming all the standards that is being set, that is, he is able to show level of efficiency more than 100%, then he will be either paid 1.2 or 1.3 into normal piece rate. So we will just consider 1.2 for all the calculation purposes. Okay. So other important formulas that is required to calculate the previous methods what we learned. So these are the only six methods that will be asked for both section B and section C for your examination purposes. There are many other methods which you can search online and study it on your own for your knowledge gaining purposes. For examination, from the examination point of view, these are the only six methods you need to learn. So other important formulas that is required for calculation or solving or calculating the wages under the previously mentioned six methods. These are the following formulas. Time saved. So time saved is equal to standard time minus time taken. Then conversion of minutes into hours. So sometimes what happens, the wages will be paid based on the hours worked or per hour rate, and the calculation or the information in the question will be given in terms of minutes. Probably say for producing 1 unit, the laborer needs 45 minutes, but the wages payment will be like rupees 80 per hour. So you need to convert the minutes into hours. So the formula for that is total minutes divided by 60. Next up, we have total standard time. So what is the total standard time? Standard time per piece into number of pieces produced. So what is the standard time set by the company? So if the standard time is 100 minutes, it will be 100, it will be outcome of one piece is equal to 1 minute probably. So if the company is expecting 100 units as standard production, then 100 units into 1 minute, 100 minutes is their standard time. Up next, we have normal piece rate, normal time rate divided by normal production. This is one of the trickiest formula you need to remember for further calculations. This is where most of the students lose the thought of further solving the problems, or they drop out at this particular point of stage. Just remember, this is a very important formula for section C. Normal piece rate is equal to normal time rate divided by normal production. So normal time rate is nothing but the time set by the company. So these are synonyms: normal time rate or standard time rate, or standard production and time standard production, or normal production, standard output or standard production. So you will have to remember all the synonyms. So in various textbooks, different author uses different terminologies. They are nothing but the synonyms of one another. So normal production or normal output is as same as standard production or standard output. So if you people have understood the theory, we can go ahead and start solving the problems now, or learn to solve the problem now. Okay. So we'll go with section B problems first. Over here, I've just used all the previous year question paper problems so that it will be easy for you to understand, and I will be giving extra questions for you to solve it on your own on a later date. So first question, it says a worker takes 54 hours to complete a job on daily basis and 36 hours on a scheme of payment by results. His day rate is rupees 65 per hour. Calculate Alzey plan and Rowan plan. So here the what is the information given? It is a information given by a factory where it says a worker usually takes 54 hours. That means the standard time set by the company, looking into all the criteria that is required to complete a particular task, is 54 hours. So the standard time will be 54 hours. Okay, last 10 minutes, probably I'll be able to solve only one problem now. In the next session, that is scheduled at 3:15, we'll be able to solve the next few problems. And the next information is 36 hours on a scheme of payment by results. With the all incentive schemes or any bonus methods that is used by the company, the worker is motivated and he is able to complete that complete the task within 36 hours itself. So the time taken will be 36 hours. Then his day rate is 75 rupees per hour. So the company has set the wages at rupees 75 per hour. We need to calculate ALSE plan and Rowan plan. In both the formulas, we have all the information that is necessary, but time saved is not given. Time saved will be calculated how? With using the formula, the difference between standard time and time taken. So over here is, over here, the time saved will be 54 hours minus 36 hours, that is 18 hours. So now we are going to apply the same information to the formula. So the total wages payable or the total earnings that is given to the laborers will be hourly rate into time taken. So below that I've put the numbers as well, 75 rupees into 36 hours plus the bonus according to ALSE plan is 50% of time saved into hourly rate. 50% into 18 hours that is being saved by the employee multiplied by hourly rate rupees 75. You people know how to calculate. I multiply the first half 75 rupees into 36 hours, I get rupees 2700, and 50% of the time saved will be 50% of 1350. At the end, I'm calculating wages to be paid. So my solutions will be denominated with rupees, not hours. Okay, so total wages will be paid using the amount as denomination. So I'm considering rupees. I can't give the solution in terms of hours. So hope this calculation you find it very easy. I'll go for the next plan, that is Rowan plan. So according to Rowan plan, the total earnings are calculated using formula hourly rate into time taken plus time saved divided by standard time, that is proportion of time saved from the standard time into time taken into hourly rate. So rupees 75 into 36 hours, that is the normal wages, plus bonus, that is 18 hours divided by 54 hours into 36 hours into rupees 75. If you're feeling it very confused to write all these rupees and hours everywhere in the formula or in the substitution of formula, that's fine, you can skip it. But make sure at the end of the solution, you mention it as rupees, or you will have to denominate the entire solution in terms of amount. So total wages over here is rupees 36. The only difference between these two methods are, or the difficulty you might face is, there will be no time saved given, and you will have to see what is the standard time and time taken. So in the question, they have not directly mentioned as standard time terminology or the time taken. You will have to read it properly and understand the sentence and decide it. And anyway, these are the sentence framing that happens at the university level. So most of the questions will have the same sort of sentences. So be careful. So only difference is over here, I'm calculating the bonus using 50%. Over here, I'm using the proportion between time saved and standard time. So if you have any problem with calculations, just do one thing, solve it on your own. Anyway, the slides, the solution, the PDF with all the problems being solved and the questions are being shared with you. Solve it on your own. Any doubts, you can DM me. Okay. We'll go, anyway, we are left out with 5 more minutes, so probably I'll discuss the second variety of problem now. During the first week of April 2019, Mr. X produced 800 articles. He received wages for a guaranteed 48 hours a week at rupees 10 per hour. The estimated time to produce one article is 16 minutes. Calculate ALSE premium plan and Rowan premium plan. So over here, if you're able to compare it to the previous question, over there it was there was only time that was considered. Over here we have hours, we have minutes, so we need to do a little extra calculations to get the answer. So we'll start with how to calculate whatever factors that is required to substitute in the formula, or what are the units or what are the terms that is required to solve the problem according to the formulas of ALSE and Rowan premium plans. So we'll write down whatever is given in the question first. So Mr. X produced 800 articles. So number of units produced is 800. He received wages for a guaranteed 48 hours. So what is this guaranteed 48 hours? He had worked for 48 hours and he's been guaranteed to pay rupees 10 per hour for the entire week. Over here, the wages are paid on a weekly basis. If you read the question again, it says 48 hours a week. So the wages are paid per week or on weekly basis. So that is not our concern. We're just going to calculate how much money are they paying for the period. Then the estimated time due. Okay, we have rupees 10 per hour. So this is nothing but the rate per hour, rupees 10. Then we have the estimated time to produce one article is 16 minutes. Now, what is the missing information? We don't have standard time. So without standard time, I'll not be able to complete the formula. I will not be able to calculate time saved as well. So in the next slide, I'm going to see how to calculate the standard time. So missing information in the slide is standard time. So how am I going to calculate the standard time? Total number of units produced into the time that is allotted for each unit. So one unit, the question says 16 minutes is the standard time, or the person takes to produce one unit, the time duration the person takes is 16 minutes. So to produce 800 units, he's going to consume 12,800 minutes. As the wages are paid on hourly basis, I'm going to convert this minutes into hours. And for conversion of minutes into hours, the formula is total minutes divided by 60 minutes. So in a week, the person is taking 213.333 hours to manufacture or to produce 800 units. So the standard time set by the company is 213.333 hours a week. Now, for the further calculation, we would be needing time saved. So for the formula for that is standard time minus time taken. That will be 213.33 minus 48 hours. 48 hours is nothing but the actual time taken by the particular person in the entire week. So time saved is 165.33 hours. So further, the formula is very easy. We have already discussed about the formulas in previous slides as well. You can do the calculation. It is just that in this particular question, the standard time was missing and the rate was given per hour and the units produced duration was given in minutes. So the two things or the two adjustments we were supposed to do, or the extra calculation we did, was calculation of standard time and conversion of standard time in minutes to hours. So hopefully you will be able to solve these two questions. I'm going to end the meeting right now, or the session right now. Thank you everyone for watching, and we'll discuss later. Thank you.